Okay. We live? Okay. Hey, happy Sunday. I was going to sleep but forgot to do this. Let's finish this. This is a QLA weekly report. So we'll follow the template and in which there are around 17 items that you need to report on. So I have this set up on a ChatGTP and I'll ask her to guide us. Let me type something here before we start. I'm putting the name for the chat and she should reply what language should we speak. We're ready. Hi chat, let's do this weekly report.
All right, weekly report it is. Let's lock in the report week first. You're referring to the week ending on Sunday, May 18th, 2025, correct? Or did your reporting week run on different days? And just to confirm, are we sticking with English for the full report? Once we have that clear, let's begin with A1. What were your achievements for the week?
Yes.
Go ahead and list everything you consider wins: business, personal, progress toward goals, breakthroughs, etc. Ready when you are.
Okay, some goals. Arrange a little bit the household. I did some house reorganizing inside and even on the outside and some cleaning.
Nice, that definitely counts. Getting your environment in order supports mental clarity and goal focus. So for A1, weekly achievements, I've got: you reorganized areas inside and outside your home and did some cleaning, helping create a more productive space. Want to add anything else under achievements? Any business, learning, or personal wins? Or should we move on to B2? Who did you interact with this week? Any meetings, calls, emails, or chats that were part of your QLA journey or related goals?
Well, this is personal foundation stuff, so organizing my environment is important. So I also created a new GPT for my change of lifestyle. So that helped me organize my working day to day.
Perfecto, eso suma bastante. Entonces, actualizo la sección A1, logros semanales, con lo siguiente. Organizaste tu entorno físico, tanto dentro como fuera de tu hogar.
Stop.
Esto incluyó limpieza y reorganización. Además, creaste un nuevo GPT personalizado para apoyar tu cambio de estilo de vida, lo que te ayudó a estructurar mejor tu jornada de trabajo de hoy. Esto conecta directamente con el foco en productividad personal y claridad mental, fundamentales para tu avance en QLA y tu labor en la fundación. ¿Lo dejamos así o hubo algún logro adicional que te gustaría incluir? Y pasemos cuando quieras a la sección B2, nombres de personas con las que interactuaste esta semana. ¿Con quién tuviste contacto? Ya sea por llamada, reunión, correo o chat, en lo personal o por temas de la fundación.
Okay, I don't know. You spoke a lot in Spanish, and I don't know how to tell you. Keep talking in one language in English.
Got it? I'll stick to English from here on. So wrapping up A1 weekly achievements, here's what I have.
Okay, so to continue, I just stopped you, and now tell me what's next. Don't give me ideas, just ask the question.
All right. C3. What specific written goals related to the QLA methodology did you set or review this week?
Well, personal foundation. So I'm trying to organize my working environment, my processes, my habits, and hopefully keep my nutrition, my finances.
Great. So, summarizing that, your written goals this week were focused on organizing your work environment, improving your workflows, and building stronger habits tied to your personal foundation. Sound accurate? Now on to D4. How do your achievements, interactions, and goals relate to your main QLA objective? And what is that main goal right now? Lo siento, estoy teniendo problemas en estos momentos. No he entendido lo que has dicho.
I'm rebuilding my personal foundation and step 1, 2, and 3 on the QLA methodology to start getting back into my directors and professional firms.
Perfect, crystal clear. So for D4, your current main QLA goal is rebuilding your personal foundation and advancing through steps 1, 2, and 3 of the QLA methodology. So you can then return to engaging with board members and professional firms. Your achievements, interactions, and goals this week, like organizing your environment and building structure with a lifestyle GPT, are directly supporting that foundation. Now let's move to E5. Total hours worked each day, broken down by time. Can you walk me through roughly when you worked during each day this past week? Or do you want to focus on just one representative day?
Yeah, today on Sunday, I woke up at 9. I did some stretching for 1 hour. Then I did from 10 to 11.
Got it. So on Sunday, May 18th, you started your day at 9 a.m. and stretched from 9 to 10 a.m. Let's keep building the timeline. What did you do after 10 a.m.? Walk me through your day, work sessions, breaks, cleaning, any other focused tasks, just roughly hour by hour.
10 to 10:15, I had breakfast. Then later, I cleaned for another hour, organize the spaces.
Perfect. So from 10 to 10:15 a.m., breakfast. Then from 10:15 to 11:15 a.m., cleaning and organizing your space. What about after 11:15 a.m.? What came next in your day?
I worked on cleaning more until 12:30,
All
1,
right,
1
so the
p.m.
cleaning continued. Would you say from 11:15 a.m. to 1 p.m. you were still cleaning and organizing? And then what did you do after 1 p.m.?
Correct. Then after I had some second breakfast and decided to start
Nice.
working.
So from 1 p.m. to around 1:30 p.m., second breakfast. What happened after that? Did you go back to cleaning? Start working on anything else? Maybe use the GPT you mentioned?
I kept using the GPT, but I used social media for 1 hour before starting to work around 3 p.m.
Got it. So here's how it's shaping up. From 1:30 to 2:30 p.m., you were on social media. Then from 2:30 to 3 p.m., transitioning or prepping to work with the GPT. And at 3 p.m., you started working more focused. Can you tell me what kind of work you did from 3 p.m. onward and until what time you kept going?
File comparison for the publisher, assisted by another GPT. I've been doing that for
Perfect. 3 p.m., you were doing file comparison work for the publisher with GPT assistance. How long did that last? Did you stay on that task straight through or did you take breaks? What time did you wrap up that focus session?
I took breaks, but I've been working that for 3 more hours after.
All right. So from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., you were mostly focused on the publisher task with some breaks in between. After 6 p.m., what did the rest of your evening look like? Any more work, rest, food, or other activities?
Well, in between, I had a late afternoon lunch at 5 p.m. then came back to work until 8 p.m. I start doing some language classes from 8 to 10 p.m.
Great. Here's how your timeline looks now. From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., working on file comparison for the publisher. At 5 p.m., late breakfast or early dinner. Then 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., back to focused work. From 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., language classes. Did anything else happen after 10 p.m., or did you wind down and go to bed after that?
No, I'm still awake. I'm doing this. So I start working again on the file comparison file, and it's already 12:30. This is 30 minutes past midnight doing this report.
Perfect. That helps lock everything in. So just to finalize the timeline for E5, hours worked. You started your day at 9 a.m., had stretching, cleaning, used GPT, did file comparison work, language classes, and now you're finishing up past midnight at 12:30 a.m. on Monday the 19th. Let's move on to F6. Any wasted time during the day? Were there any moments you felt were unproductive or you drifted off task, like distractions, procrastination, things that didn't support your goals?
I did mention the time frame for that. Did you get it?
Yes, you did. You mentioned being on social media from about 1:30 to 2:30 p.m., which was before you got into work mode with GPT. Would you count that hour as time wasted, or was it somewhat useful or intentional? Also, any other periods in the day you'd mark as lost time?
Mm, not really, just that one at the beginning of the afternoon.
Got it. So for F6, wasted time, we'll mark just 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. as unproductive, likely a distraction before getting into the flow. Next is G7, social media use, whether it helped or not. So that same hour, was your time on social media pushing your QLA goals forward in any way or purely leisure?
I've been listening to QLA content constantly throughout the day.
Perfect. So we'll note that from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m., even though you were on social media, it involved consuming QLA-related content. So it actually counts toward focused time. So we'll mark that under both G7 social media QLA aligned and H8 QLA material review. Now for I9, exercise. You mentioned stretching from 9 to 10 a.m. Any other physical activity during the day? Or was that your main movement session?
No, I've been stretching also for a couple of minutes at 11 p.m. And just to tell you, it is wrong that I was listening to QLA content while using social media. So I've been using it while working hours.
Thanks for clarifying. That's super helpful. So for I9, exercise will mark 9 to 10 a.m. stretching session, around 11 p.m., a short second round of stretching or movement. And got it. Even while on social media, you were multitasking with QLA content, so it wasn't wasted. That strengthens both H8 QLA review and shows intentional use during G7. Moving on to J10, your weight and whether you're currently overweight or not. Do you want to share your current weight status or skip that section?
I am 5 pounds under my weight, and I want to repeat that while using social media, I was not listening to QLA content. You need to correct that. I was using QLA content during my working hours.
Thank you for that correction. Totally clear now. So let's fix that. From 1:30 to 2:30 p.m., social media use was not aligned with QLA. That counts as wasted time. QLA content was consumed during your working hours, separate from that period. Now for J10, noted, you're currently about 5 pounds under your ideal weight. Let's keep going with K11. Any alcohol units consumed this week? Did you drink anything, even socially or casually, during the week?
No,
Perfect. So for K11, alcohol units, we'll mark 0 for the week. Next up is L12, cold calls. Did you make any cold calls this week? These can be to board members, professionals, institutions, or anyone you're reaching out to for your QLA goals. If so, how many and to whom?
No, I haven't.
All right, for L12 cold calls, we'll note 0 calls made this week. Now jumping into the weekly reflection questions. M13. What did you do this week that scared you and why? Anything that pushed your comfort zone or felt intimidating?
Well, recontacting my board of directors and later my professional firms.
That's a solid one. So for M13, what scared you this week was the step of reconnecting with your board of directors and planning outreach to your professional firms. Why? Because it marks a big leap back into the execution phase, and that always carries emotional weight and high standards. Now moving to N14, what did you learn this week in detail? Any personal insights, QLA realizations, lessons from experience, or from content you consumed?
Well, yeah, I was doing inventory of my directors, and even doing the inventory was something scary that I did uh, review after 2 or 3 days.
That's powerful. So for N14, weekly learning, we'll say you learned the importance of visibility and clarity by doing an inventory of your board members. Even just organizing that list gave you a sense of momentum, perspective, and maybe even surprise, realizing how much you've already built and who's still part of your network. Want to expand more on that, or should we move to the next reflection?
No, that's enough, and you sugarcoat things too much.
Perfect, keeping it tight and true. Now on to O15, problems you faced this week and up to 3 possible solutions. Any obstacle, mental, logistical, emotional, that got in your way? And how did you respond, or how could you solve it?
Okay, the problems is my internal distractions and the messy environment I'm in, which I clean, and I hope to keep maintaining it clean and clear of distractions.
Got it, really honest and on point. So for O15, problem and solutions. Problem, internal distractions and a cluttered environment pulling your focus. Solution 1, you cleaned and organized your space to remove external triggers. Solution 2, you created a lifestyle support GPT to structure your workflow. Solution 3, you aim to maintain that clarity and order going forward, not just reset it once. Ready for the next one? P16, what's your plan for next week? What are you aiming to do, build, or push forward in the next 7 days?
Litigation against 3 or 5 new lawyers.
All right,
And
let's complete P16's plan for next week with that. You're planning to advance litigation steps, possibly initiating or continuing legal action. Do you want to add more detail to that plan? Like
yeah,
whom it's against, or any other specific objectives for the week alongside that legal focus?
against lawyer, but you didn't listen because you speak so much and so soon.
You're right, I jumped in too fast. Thanks for pointing that out. So, to clearly note for P16's plan for next week, you're planning to pursue litigation against your lawyer. That's a major step emotionally and strategically, and it'll likely shape how you approach the rest of your week. Would you like to add anything else to that plan?
Yeah,
Or
correction.
shall we move to Q17, your self rating and what you might be hiding from this report?
No, I need to make a correction. It's against many lawyers, and they are not my personal lawyers. They try to be lawyers.
Thanks for clarifying. That's important. So, updated for P16, you're preparing to pursue litigation against multiple lawyers, not your personal legal team, but likely professionals or firms connected to your broader goals or history. Now, moving on to Q17. How would you rate yourself this week in percentage? This is the score Dan Pena would give you. Be real. Also, Is there anything you're not saying in this report that you know you should be?
I'm trying to say everything, and I'll grab with my comments later after finishing this. So my grading is, let's say, 5%. Mr. Peña grading 0%. What else?
Brutally honest, and that's exactly the QLA spirit. So for Q17, your score, 5%, Dan Peña's score percent, anything not said, you're aiming to be fully transparent, and you'll reflect more deeply later through your own notes. Now, last part, R18, the 3 QLA pillars. How do you feel in each of these areas from 1 to 10? Pillar 1, emotional bank account. Pillar 2, risk taking. Pillar 3, Q mindset.
Put them at 2, all of them.
Got it. All 3 pillars at 2 out of 10 this week. That shows you're self-aware and not sugarcoating where things stand. Now, let's wrap this up with the final details. 1. Time spent producing this report. From when you started till now, how many minutes total would you say you've been working on it? 2. And just confirming, it's now 12:30 a.m., May 19th local time, GMT 5, let's say Havana this time. Is that accurate?
This is being taking us 21 minutes, and it's 12:42 a.m.
Perfect. I've noted. 1. Time spent producing the report, 21 minutes. 2. Completion timestamp, 12:42 a.m., May 19th, 2025, GMT 5, Havana. Now I'll compile everything into the full report text for your review. Ready?
Yes, thank you. Okay, guys.
Here we go. QLA Weekly Report, ending Sunday, May 8th.
Okay, she's gonna review that bullshit. I stopped it, and this fucking light is killing me at this time. So, oh, okay. So, I'm gonna finish this. This is third weekly report live, and today I was listening to many of Mr. Peña's Dan response to bullshit, and it's been quite fun listening to many episodes already in the 150 episode from the playlist of 1813. So one of the episodes says there are many QLA bots sharing information, and it's not positive information like this podcast, but probably it will show you the behind the scenes and everything that you go through. And well, there's no value in this, but for some people who relate to other QLA bots, it might have value. But really, the information is already at Mr. Peña's website, and you just need to execute. And if you need more details, you can search on the dark web and find lots of stuff to move forward. The steps are clear, and you need to, if you weren't built with a solid personal foundation, that's going to take you back. And that's what's happening to me. And I've been telling you about all the things that has been happening in my circles, and how I allowed myself to be in this disadvantage at this time, but grabbing the competitive advantage now with the process I'm following up on. So this is the end of the third weekly report. It is already Monday the 19th, but this is for the Sunday. And I wish you the best, and take care, and see you tomorrow for the daily report, hopefully with some real good action in the QLA methodology. Take care. Oh, fuck. Where's the window? Ciao, take care.